The View hosts have got themselves into hot water again after they did the very thing they purport to be against, undermining women's success. Joy Behar stunned viewers when she said Donald Trump's press secretary, 27-year-old Karoline Leavitt, only secured her position because of her good looks.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
The comment was bizarre, especially coming from Joy Behar, who is as woke as they come and positions herself as a champion of feminism. This online commentator said, disgusting Joy Behar of The View accuses Karoline Leavitt of being hired only because Donald Trump thought she was a...
The View is spiraling into absolute chaos, and Karoline Leavitt just delivered a knockout punch that might be the final nail in its coffin. ABC executives are reportedly in crisis mode after a single viral moment flipped the script on their long-running talk show. It all started when Joy Behar, in her usual smug fashion, took a cheap shot at Leavitt, dismissing her political career by implying she was only hired because of her looks. That's right, the same show that claims to uplift women just reduced a highly accomplished press secretary to nothing more than a pretty face. But here's where things get really interesting. Instead of letting The View get away with it, Leavitt fired back with a response so devastating, so brutally honest, that it sent Whoopi Goldberg into full-blown meltdown mode, left Joy Behar scrambling to save face, and forced Sunny Hostin into yet another desperate attempt to make it about race. But that wasn't all, because the entire panel joined in, leading to a complete media firestorm that could have consequences far beyond what they expected. So what exactly did Karoline say that has Hollywood elites in panic mode? It all started when The View went after her with a condescending attack, suggesting she had no real qualifications and was only in her position because she fit Trump's so-called ideal image. The implication: she didn't earn her success, she was handed it. And if that sounds like hypocrisy, that's because it is. The same women who scream about empowering females just dismissed an accomplished conservative woman based solely on appearance. But the real shocker came when Whoopi Goldberg jumped in, delivering a heated rant about wokeness and claiming that without it, Leavitt wouldn't even have a platform to speak. According to Whoopi, women were never invited to the table before progressive movements pushed for change. But here's the irony: Leavitt didn't need the woke agenda to build her career. And instead of backing down, she fired back with a clapback heard around the world. Leavitt didn't just defend herself, she tore The View apart in one viral moment.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous...
In a scathing response that spread across social media like wildfire, she exposed the show for what it really is: a group of out-of-touch elites who pretend to support women while viciously attacking any female who refuses to follow their script. She called out Behar's blatant sexism, ridiculed Whoopi's double standards, and dismantled the idea that only wokeness could create opportunities for women. But it didn't stop there, because Sunny Hostin, known for inserting race into every debate, decided to turn the discussion into an issue of privilege. In an attempt to shift the focus away from Behar's comment, she argued that Leavitt's success came from her race rather than her talent. The moment she said it, you could almost hear the collective gasp from viewers. This wasn't just a bad take, it was a complete implosion of everything The View claims to stand for. And within minutes, Twitter exploded. The hashtags #CancelTheView and #CarolineOwnsTheView shot to the top of trending lists. Even longtime fans of the show started questioning how a show that claims to support women could justify such a degrading attack. And now, ABC executives are in full-blown panic mode. Leaks from inside the network reveal that the higher-ups are furious over the controversy, and serious discussions about major shakeups are happening behind closed doors. And guess whose names keep coming up? Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin. That's right, some insiders claim that ABC is considering cutting ties with their most controversial hosts to stop the bleeding. And if that wasn't enough, sponsors are getting nervous. Major brands don't want to be associated with a show drowning in hypocrisy and controversy, and rumors are swirling that ad placements are at risk. Translation: The View is in serious trouble. But wait, it gets even worse. Former co-host Meghan McCain just entered the conversation, and she's not holding back. In a fiery Twitter thread, McCain slammed her old colleagues, calling them out for their blatant hypocrisy and agenda-driven attacks on conservative women. She exposed how The View operates behind the scenes, alleging that producers deliberately push certain narratives and silence voices that don't align with their political agenda. "This isn't about feminism," McCain wrote. "This is about control. They don't want strong women. They want women who agree with them, period." Her tweet racked up millions of views in hours, adding even more pressure on ABC to make some drastic decisions. The fallout is just getting started.
Young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world.
This commentator said, Whoopi is mansplaining the press secretary job to Karoline Leavitt. Hilarious.
Please, his opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those two attempts. The second attempted on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie, and yes, you will take political like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I am so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today in 2024, President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016, because people don't trust the...
While ABC scrambles to contain the damage, conservative media outlets are having a field day with the scandal. Fox News, Daily Wire, and even independent commentators on YouTube are tearing apart The View's double standards, further fueling the flames. Even former View co-hosts like Elizabeth Hasselbeck and Candace Cameron Bure have spoken out, backing Karoline Leavitt and exposing their own experiences with leftist bias on the show. But then came another surprise voice in the controversy, Tucker Carlson. The conservative firebrand dedicated an entire segment to exposing The View's hypocrisy, hammering home how mainstream media silences dissenting voices while claiming to be champions of diversity. His words weren't just a takedown of the show, they were a direct hit on the entire culture of political bias in Hollywood. And then there was Ben Shapiro, who dissected the scandal point by point, calling out how modern feminism has turned into a tool for silencing women who think differently. His viral breakdown sparked even more discussion, and suddenly, The View wasn't just facing criticism, it was facing a full-scale media reckoning. Celebrities outside of politics started weighing in, too. Comedian Bill Maher, who often challenges leftist narratives, threw in his 2 cents, saying, "You can't claim to be pro-women and then tear down any woman who doesn't fit your political mold. It's hypocrisy at its finest." Even Joe Rogan, known for his unfiltered takes, roasted the show's panel for being out of touch and unwilling to engage in real debate.